Yeah, what are we doing, bro? Nine Vicious, aka Travion Coles, has been going absolutely viral in the underground scene right now, crossing over 1.2 million listeners on Spotify and having one of the highest viewed Rolling Loud sets this year. And Nine Vicious, with all the success, has came with a lot of controversy. He's had a lot of backlash for the controversial things he says in his songs, like "Listen Up Jews." He basically, well, you get what I'm saying. He obviously said some things about Jews in that song. But me personally, I really like Nine Vicious. He brings a lot of that rash underground rage sound into his artistry and mixes a lot of that with pure sounding boom bat yay type beats. With his rage vocals and his ad-libs makes him such a unique artist, especially in this new underground scene where a lot of people are cloning. And a lot of his provocative nature kind of holds him back from being a mainstream artist, because he says a lot of rash and outlandish things about artists, especially with this new diss on Opium Baby.
I fuck your mama. After I fuck that nigga mama, put that nigga mama in a fucking ditch. Have a homeless man rape that hoe. They come to fuck like this. What did this nigga do to make this nigga that mad?
Now, what I said earlier people might be like, what? He's the king of homage. Why would you say that he's unique? He's a unique artist in the sense that nobody's really doing what he does right now. But to look back at that clip we just seen, yeah, that's just, you know, so out of pocket. There's so many unwritten rules he just broke right there and like snapped them and made them fly away. Like, the only way you can get back at Nine for what he said, you gotta snipe him in GTA. Like, you gotta do that. There's no way you can come back from that like that. But I gotta say, that song was hard.
Bro, what the f is you even talking about, bro?
Hold on. Hear me out on this one, okay?
I already told you I do not like no rats. You is not Pyru. You don't have no hats. I fuck with Carter, but if I see Jay again, I take his upside down cross. Get flat ass shit, I fuck it, bitch. That be right, I get off.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on. You can't hate on that. Now, it's starting to get harder and harder and harder and harder. Pause. To defend Nine Vicious. Now, when it was the minor allegations, you know, she was 17, he was 19. 2-year difference is not that crazy. It's nothing to end him up in jail or nothing. He can learn from that lesson and be like, yeah, I'm a big artist, you know, I can't like go out here and do this type of stuff. And then he learns his lesson and he moves on. Like, even though she's not technically, you know, of age, you know, it's still a 2-year age gap. It's nothing like that crazy. Like when we see these Predator videos, it's like 37-year-old meets up with 17-year-old. That's crazy. That's not that crazy if you're 19. I mean, you can come at me for that and be like, oh, you're a fucking weirdo. No, I'm just stating the facts, bro. Like when you're in high school and you think, oh, the senior's dating a freshman and you don't even bat an eye. But when Nine Vicious gets with a 17-year-old and he's 19, that's crazy. Like, come on, man. 90% of your homeboys have dated a 17-year-old at 19, and that's factual. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's a rough estimate, but you get what I'm saying. You can defend Nine on that. You can give him a solid argument. And plus, all of this is alleged. You gotta be honest, we're living in the age of AI. See, the argument I just gave is what any people can use. I use that for research purposes, of course, but you get what I'm saying. But as we go on throughout the story, it gets harder and harder to defend Nine Vicious. Like, as much as I love him as an artist, if you have a brain, he should be in your top 3 underground artists, let's be honest. Or possibly top 5. If you want to go lowball, because you can have the average ear and just listen to Nine Vicious. You don't have to have, you know, the blood too slimy trained ear. You can have the average ear and listen to something like Love, maybe Boom Bat, 24 Hours. You see, there's a large variety of things you can listen to. Even the average ear can enjoy something like Margella Steppin', which is a 10 out of 10 Nine song and argue with a wall. And you might be like, yo, Blake, you've been doing a lot of positives. What's the negative? Why can't you defend him anymore? Why is it so hard to defend him now? Well, let's take a rewind of the video I played at the start of the video. Now, first off, you might be intrigued to say, is Nine Vicious really jerking his peenar on camera? Yes, he is. Yeah. And that's not even the worst of it. Like, why are we doing this, man? Grown ass man. Let's get back to the zesty fester. And you might be thinking, you know, he's just doing a little zesty thing and he got a tattoo. What bad could it be? It's a Freemason tattoo. And if you have a peewee brain and you don't know what a Freemason is, here you go. If you actually know what a Freemason is and you don't want to sit here and watch a little explanation that I'm about to put on here, then you can skip to this.
Bro, I heard some crazy stuff online about this group called the Freemasons.
On the surface, yeah. But behind that, it's one of the oldest secret societies in the world.
So what do they actually be doing?
They meet in private lodges and go through rituals to join. Then you move up through degrees, like levels. The higher you go, the more you learn about the group, their symbols, rules, and secrets.
So where did they even come from?
Started as stone builders back in the day, turned into a private brotherhood built on connections and loyalty.
So why do people think it's deeper?
Because it is. Powerful people have been part of it, even most of the founding fathers, like George Washington. And the eye and pyramid on the dollar bill is straight up a Masonic symbol called the Eye of Providence. It represents a higher power watching over things, along with the unfinished pyramid representing building something greater over time.
So that's why people think it's deeper.
Yeah, because you got early leaders tied to it, symbols in plain sight, and private meetings still happening today.
Wow, that's insane. Thank you, Too Slimy.
That was amazing.
Now you might be thinking, like, what does this have to do about Nine Vicious? First of all, you have a Freemason tattooed on there, which means that's a secret society, cultist society. That's just something weird in itself. And this leads people to think, did Nine Vicious sell his soul? Because it was already hard enough to defend Cardi, Lone, and Ken for their St. Peter's cross that they had. That was already hard enough to defend them. Now we got Nine Vicious with a Freemason tattoo on his leg. First of all, why would you do that? I think there's two reasons why he did that. First of all, just for controversy. Like, Nine Vicious has always been like a provocative artist and has shock value in his lyrics. That's what made him, you know, popular. So this could just been for clicks and likes and shock value and all that type of stuff. And there's a second reason, maybe like a style or swag, but it's leaning more to Illuminati than it is to style and swag. But it makes sense because Che uses the, like, I don't like to say this, but the devil aesthetic for his music videos, and you know that could be the same case for Nine. But as we go deeper and deeper, it starts to get a lot harder to defend this man because he keeps on doing the most outlandish shit I've ever seen.
Hey, bro, this nigga, he's worse, bro. He's worse than Hitler, bro. Let me tell y'all this though. Y'all gotta start looking up Hitler, bro.
Was Hitler really bad?
What if he was trying to get rid of?
He was trying to destroy the construct, the matrix, the system that they created. I'm just telling you to stay woke.
Hey, stay woke from that Freemason tattoo. He might be up to something. We don't know. I mean, Nine has been getting a lot more success recently. He's been on a Ye album. Now, definitely Ye's not in any of that stuff because it's Ye. Like, let's be honest, it's Ye. So he's probably just speculations. But the last thing I really want to cover that we kind of covered earlier was Nine's lyrics. Obviously, he had that lyric we showed you earlier of him saying that diabolical things about Opium Baby's mother. But there's a lot more that comes to it when it comes to Nine lyrics. You know, in the underground, you can have, you know, A-tier production and then C-tier lyrics. Like, it's very common to see this. But Nine kind of takes this to an extreme. And he not only uses like pretty mediocre lyrics, but he also adds like crazy ass bars about things that are just insane to talk about on a song. It's still hard, don't get me wrong, but it's crazy to hear it. And stuff like that makes it harder and harder to defend Nine. But to wrap this up, thank you guys for watching. This has been, you know, pretty funny to make looking back at all these things Nine's done. But it's been a pleasure to make this for you guys. A look out for daily uploads next week. Love you guys. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, comment what you want next out of me, you know, whatever you want. And, you know, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. Capiche?
I know that I'm crazy. This shit I got on, you know it's the latest. For niggas that be doing that hating. Come through trad time, shawty. Got shit on, I'm fine. Bad bitch know I'm fine, shawty. I got rest on y'all. I got rest on slime, shawty.